Warning: resin is a toxic material and extremely harmful for the respiratory system when airborne during sanding, grinding, or drilling. The dust, when breathed in, can cause short and long-term health problems, including cancer. Please use a particle or dual organic respirator. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokonoman at YouTube with another model video. Today doing another tank. We are looking at the Fiat 3000 World War I light tank, based very similarly to the TF-17 by the French. Very similar specs, armaments and whatnot, probably a licensing job. The model is in 72nd, made by Kikaku. As you would remember, we did the Fiat 2000, which was a larger heavy tank with turret as well. This was imported by an obscure company in Japan, considered a garage kit due to the very charming details, yet crude nature to the build. Everything is nicely cast, but there is a few textural and fitting issues, as well as small parts being quite strange. This brand is very famous for casting in a blue pigmented resin, even though the mix is slightly strange as well. It comes in this boutique cardboard box with these stickers printed all around of a hand-drawn tank and what appears to be hand-drawn writing as well. You also get photocopy instructions. The box more or less only contains the parts, near empty, wrapped in plastic. One is the hull, the other is all the other pieces, turrets, wheels and whatnot. You will find that the weapons and armaments is insufficient and needs to be replaced with brass alternatives. Warpage can occur. The pieces were thoroughly soaked in soapy water using dishwasher detergent and scrubbed with a small brush that you used for your fingernails. Toothbrush would do too. Washed it, dried it, washed it a second time and rinsed in fresh water. This happened to be just enough to allow paint to stick on it. There may be a release agent from the moulding process. Each piece did get a bit of a buff with sandpaper, about 1 to 2,000 grit. You will find the instructions are more or less useless, even as reference material. You should download some pictures of other people who has models of them, as well as historical evidence of the real thing in black and white pictures. This should assist in where to glue and join, as well as what to remove as nubs and flash and what not to. The nub situation is not too bad. The flash is present, though very easily taken care of with a sharp knife. The detail of the tracks may be a disappointment to some. Very happy not to see any air bubbles, as there's a lot of raised detail, especially rivets. Filling that would be near impossible. Do take care when sanding that the rivets can be wiped out. Once assembly started to occur, the detail does come across as very charming, and after priming I found out that I was reasonably happy with it. The front sight or entry is completely blank with a large amount of flash. That can be covered with a bit of styrene or left open, or just don't remove the flash. As seen, brass machine guns are added. Super glue is used to connect everything. Everything is glued in one piece and not removable. Some things such as the back tail and wheel wells could look a bit crooked. Pinning and straightening that out would work, but I'm not too fussed personally. It should not be a hard fix. With everything done and clean, the kit received a coat of Tamiya primer via airbrush. None of the primer or holes appeared or slid off. Perfect, good job cleaning. Then received a coat of Guyannote oxidized red undercoat. The kit went through a process of getting dusted and shaded, a series of beige, sail and white as the under effect for the camouflage, a bit of sand to memory. Blue tack layered over in a pattern, then the sides pinched with a toothpick not to have too much of a soft edge. Then about a couple of tones of SMS and Mr. Hobby lacquer green on top of that. Once the mask was removed, it was pretty pleasing compared to reference material. Following that, details were hand painted, such as burnt iron for the tank tracks, a field blue for the box on the back, loosely based off reference material, a tad of colour splashed and tickled on the top via airbrush, tiny bit of black shading around the tracks and underneath stuff. Added a decal, top coated everything in a few coats of SMS clear matte. It does a beautiful job of matting glossy sheens. Girls and puns of decals were thrown in, obviously when the finish was still glossy. Then a few coats of black sludge wash and a couple of tones of brown sludge wash for that earthy World War I look. I was really happy how the painting and the colours came out on this. The detail does charm the hell out of me, so I really did take my time in painting, hand painting and specialing the weathering process. Wanted to pop and look nice as humanly possible, especially with how rare the subject is and how much ridiculously I paid for the kit. The experience was a lot of fun. This may not fancy everybody. It is handmade, homemade. Quite possibly some of the dimensions might be off, some of the details. If you really consider yourself a rivet canner, things need to be perfectly historically accurate. Maybe not the project for you, but if you're after very obscure resin kits, tanks to your collection, something that's different, something that no one else possibly has, bit of a Google search and you can find it. There's a couple of resellers. I had enough fun building the last one and this one to get another one. Resin tanks is an absolute blast. I'm actually finding them to be a lot more fun than their styrene counterparts, but we'll do an equal amount of the two. Got a couple of others on the go. Very happy how this one turned out. It's probably my most favourite of the year and probably for a little while. All in all, thank you very much for watching. As always, stay tuned for further content, especially for stuff that's a little bit weird, a little bit out there, stuff that no one else has really covered out there in the YouTube sphere. Got a Facebook page, the McConaughey. All of my up-to-date work in progresses are on there, as well as links and other things if something happens on YouTube. Posting videos twice a week. Stay tuned for more content like this and others. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, peace out.